What made Roman legions unbreakable, even against overwhelming odds? The Roman legion was more than men. It was a living machine. Each soldier was trained to move as one, never as individuals.
Cavalry and enemies crashed against them, but the formation held firm.
Endless drills forged discipline, until instinct replaced hesitation.
The Testudo, shield to shield, man to man, was nearly impossible to break. From above, a general commanded not soldiers, but pieces of a living wall. Enemies struck with fury, but discipline turned chaos into Roman advantage. Their short swords, the gladius, struck precisely through narrow openings. This unity turned Rome's legions into the most feared force in the ancient world. From the first day of training, recruits were molded into soldiers of iron discipline.
Repetition drilled movements into muscle memory. Obedience became instinct.
The strength of Rome was never in the single man, but in the wall they became together. On the march, they moved like clockwork, a living wall of shields and spears.
Where others broke into chaos, the Romans stood unyielding.
Each strike was calculated, small thrusts, relentless and efficient. Their formations absorbed the storm of battle, never losing their shape. Centurions enforced discipline, their voices and signals binding the ranks together. With shields interlocked, they became an iron wall that could not be pierced. Discipline and unity turned the legions into the deadliest force of the ancient world. Even in camp, discipline ruled every moment of a legionary's life. Arrows rained down, yet their testudo kept them safe as they marched forward. Cavalry strikes that shattered other armies broke harmlessly on Roman shields.
At the right moment, they counterattacked with ruthless precision.
The legion was not a mob. It was a wall of iron that advanced together. Commands carried by horns and flags kept the army moving as one body. Every soldier watched his centurion, responding instantly to signals. Exhaustion came, but discipline kept them standing shoulder to shoulder. Where enemies broke into chaos, the Roman wall advanced unbroken. Victory belonged not to the strongest, but to the most disciplined. The shield was more than defense. It was the cornerstone of the legion's strength.
Centurions rotated men, ensuring the wall of shields never weakened.
They could shift formations in moments, adapting to any threat.
Foes raged against them, but fury could not break discipline.
Before the clash, pillar spears shattered enemy shields, breaking their charge. Then came the gladius. Short, brutal, designed for relentless thrusts. Tired men rotated back. Fresh soldiers stepped forward. The wall never faltered.
From above, the legion looked less like men, and more like a machine.
While enemies broke and ran, the Roman line advanced without pause.
The legions did not just fight battles. They reshaped history with discipline. On Rome's roads, they marched like a single organism, unbroken for miles. Logistics fueled their strength, grain, water, and supplies always ready. Each night, they built camps. Walls and defenses rose with military precision. Every move was planned. Rome's victories began long before the battle. Horns carried commands, uniting tens of thousands with a single sound.
Under crushing pressure, they held. Discipline stronger than fear. Fatigue was answered by rotation. Fresh men stepped in. The line never broke.
Patience was a weapon. While foes tired themselves, Rome waited to strike.
When the time came, cavalry struck the flanks, breaking enemy resolve.
As the dust cleared, the legions remained, formation unbroken, their strength enduring. Each day's march ended with a fortress. Discipline extended even into rest.
Camaraderie bound them. Each soldier trusted the man at his side.
Punishments were harsh. Fear of shame kept men aligned to duty. From the youngest recruit, formation was drilled into muscle and memory. Roman roads carried their formations swiftly across an empire of continents. High ground and solid walls of shields turned battlefields into fortresses. While infantry held the line, cavalry struck like thunder on the flanks. When battles ended, the legions still stood in order, never scattered, never broken.
The discipline of their formations carried Rome's eagles across the world.
At the heart of every legion stood its eagle, unbroken, just like their lines. At dawn they marched, every step part of a rhythm that never faltered. Drills turned movements into reflex. Discipline became instinct.
The Testudo absorbed the storm, shields locking like the shell of a living beast.
A wall of spears created a barrier few dared to challenge.
To enemies, the sight of Roman formations alone brought fear before battle began. Signals bound them. Horns and flags turned chaos into order.
Formations bent and shifted, but never broke. The wall always held. While enemies rushed wildly, the Romans advanced in perfect unison.
Every sword thrust was a part of the formation, not a duel, but a machine of war. Victory was not won by rage or numbers, but by formations that never broke.
At dawn, Rome's standards rose, uniting thousands under one symbol.
Exhausted men withdrew, fresh ranks took their place, the wall never wavered. Behind the front, reserves stood ready, ensuring the formation could fight endlessly.
One sound from the cornu carried discipline across thousands of men.
For their foes, fury turned to despair as every charge failed against Rome's wall.
When the moment came, the counterattack was swift, precise, and devastating.
The eagle was the soul of the legion, never abandoned, never broken.
Where enemies dissolved into chaos, the Legion remained a wall of order.
The legions advanced like an unstoppable tide, unbroken by fear or fatigue.
Even in victory, order remained. The formation was Rome's greatest weapon.
From sunrise to sunset, the legions moved with unwavering rhythm.
Discipline was not an act of war. It was a way of life. Discipline was not an act of war. It was a way of life.
Shields bore the scars of war, yet together they stood unbroken.
To their enemies, the legions looked less like men and more like an unstoppable wall.
The eagle carried not just Rome's power, but the discipline of its legions.
Behind every formation stood leadership that demanded nothing less than perfection. Their discipline turned battles into victories, and victories into an empire. For centuries, Rome's legions stood unbroken, feared across the ancient world. If you enjoyed this journey into Rome's greatest strength, like this video and subscribe for more secrets of the ancient world.